We've had very nice horses over the last few years, like Aladar and Easy Goer and Sunday Silence and Alice Sheba, but none of them had this personality, this thing that makes you so great that you're above the crowd, and we all are hoping that maybe we're putting too much on Arazi. We don't know yet.
Welcome for this month's edition of the French Racing News. Like people from all over the world, we came this afternoon at Saint-Cloud to see the superstar Arazi have his first start of the 1992 season.
What has surprised many Europeans is the tremendous interest shown by the American press in Arazi. Not just at Saint-Cloud, but at Chantilly, Francois Boutin has been followed almost daily by a posse of American journalists.
It's not always easy. And I know, especially with reporters, and I must say everyone's been very nice, the people that have come over here from the States and from other countries to interview Francois. But there are times when I can sense that he really can't deal with it, and I try to say, you know, calm down a bit.
The Americans have come here on a mission to discover whether Arazi can stand comparison with their 1973 Triple Crown winner, Secretariat. In their view, the horse of the century.
His performance in the Breeders Cup Juvenile last November reminded a lot of people, including myself, of Secretariat when he was a 2-year-old. There was that same tremendous energy and electricity, sudden burst of speed, overwhelming his opposition, and running just an absolutely dominant race. And he reminded a lot of people of Secretariat, and we're hoping that, as one of the fans just told me, an American who's happened to be working in Germany, he says, we're waiting for the second coming. And that's what this horse is promising.
We've had very nice horses over the last few years, like Aladar and Easy Goer and Sunday Silence and Alice Sheba, but none of them had this personality, this thing that makes you so great that you're above the crowd, and we all are hoping that maybe we're putting too much on Arazi. We don't know yet. But I think that's what has galvanized people. When you think, you smell you have a great horse coming, a horse of a generation, then people who never go to horse racing are interested. And I think that's what has America kind of up right now.
The Americans have also been taken aback by the whole training routine in Chantilly, and by the idea that a horse could go to Churchill Downs having had just one prep race.
They're fascinated. The whole idea that Arazi would have only one prep race before the Kentucky Derby as a 3-year-old. That's just unheard of in the United States, although you are seeing a trend towards less and less racing going into the Kentucky Derby. But since records really have been kept well the last 40 years, only one horse has had fewer than 3 preps that has won, and that was Sonny's Halo had 2. But as I found out being at Chantilly, the training is so different. You really can't compare it. And that's what I think a lot of Americans don't understand, that these horses really get fit in their training, and they probably train harder than the American horses. American horses probably are raced harder.
I noticed that 2 of every 3 horses that participate in the Kentucky Derby are, in my opinion, totally past their ideal shape. I mean, they don't stand a chance before the race. I see them before the race, and I see that the race is already practically over for them, because they're in deplorable shape, completely tired. So I think American trainers are great professionals. They know their trade very well. So I don't think it's the trainer's fault. I think the problem in the United States is that they have a very well-endowed program with many races, and there's a lot of money involved. So it's very tempting, because during the winter you have races in Florida, in California, and everywhere. Personally, I'm convinced that my choice of one race is enough, because he has a lot of experience. If he didn't have a lot of experience as a 2-year-old, I'd be much more worried. But he knows everything by heart. It's not necessary.
We hope he makes it, a lot of us, because it may change a lot of thinking about how we train horses on both sides. Now, racing in America is different. It's on dirt, and it's level, and it's harder in a lot of ways. So maybe this will kind of ease it up and make international racing a much more formidable and powerful thing, which I think is good for the sport.
Arazi delighted connections with his performance at Saint-Cloud, especially considering, in the opinion of his trainer and jockey, he was only 60% fit, and by the way he handled all the attention.
Actually, the bigger pressure this race than any one of the races he ran, because the whole world got involved with this horse, and there's so much press here that has never been around him before. The Kentucky Derby, when you get there, there's going to be more than was here, I'll guarantee you.
That's good.
But this is probably what I hear people saying, the biggest crowd they've ever had here, and the biggest press coverage they've ever had for any horse. So it's impressive.
On Kentucky Derby week, every time Arazi leaves his stall, there'll be 15, 20, 30 cameras. People crowded all around him just for an ordinary morning gallop. It's going to be a zoo in Kentucky every morning that Arazi is there.
I could not have been more impressed. The horse did it so easily. He just seems to be in a class all by himself, not only against the horses that he ran against at St. Cloud, but against the very best horses in the United States.
The question everyone wanted answering was, what will happen to Arazi if all goes well in the Kentucky Derby? Will it be the American Triple Crown or the Epsom Derby?
It's one race at a time. He's going to the Kentucky Derby. After the Kentucky Derby, we'll make a decision. It's really a three-party thing. It's between myself and Muhammad Maktoum and the trainer. I mean, actually, what we want to do is what's best for the horse.
ABC Sports took the opportunity to talk to co-owner Sheikh Mohammed about Arazi and asked him what made him decide to buy a half share in the colt.
I just saw the horse and I loved him, you know, when he was 2 years old, and I thought I'd have a part of him.
You must have really wanted him, though, because you paid a lot of money for him. What made that worth it?
Why you say a lot of money? Maybe now, then it was a good deal. I think it's for both of us, because the right price, and both of us is happy. Anyhow, he worth more now.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
I said he worth more now than then.
What do you want his future to be, the future of Arazi?
A racing future, or? Well, I think, you know, owners dream that their horse can win big races, and I think, you know, any owner will be happy and dreaming to own a horse will win the Triple Crown. But even it's more better dream to win the most valuable races for the 3 years old, like the Kentucky Derby and the Epsom Derby also, because it hasn't been done before. And we love challenge. So, but what I'm saying is, let us see how he come out the Kentucky Derby and then decide.
En plus, ce sont deux hommes très intelligents, je crois.
They are two very intelligent men, and I can talk to them. I can discuss things with them. So far, it hasn't been a problem. I think when you make an investment like that, with a horse of that caliber, it means you can't be stupid. So I don't think either of them is stupid. I think we'll certainly find ways of reaching harmony and understanding without any obstacles.
Whatever doubt there may be about Arazi's future plans, one thing is for sure. Whatever the nationality, all the bystanders want to see Arazi crowned at Churchill Downs.